do you know actually have hobbies?
I'm glad you asked because I have many. My first one is eating. Then my next one's putting in a ponytail. My third one is going, and my fourth one is
Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And I haven't had caffeine in 2 weeks.
2 weeks? That's pretty good. How does it feel?
Boring. Let me tell you something. Life's boring if you're not riding some sort of like chemical of some kind.
Oh, what if all of my chemicals are sad?
Get prescribed other chemicals that you can ride.
Ooh, I like
That's
that
what I would
idea.
do. 2 weeks. Honestly, the first couple days was rough. I had a real bad headache,
Okay.
but I was also not feeling well. That was the week I wasn't feeling well.
Right.
You remember, I didn't do this on purpose. I accidentally gave up caffeine and didn't notice. And then just kept going. And I'll tell you what, I feel better, and it's made my life a little better, and I'm sleeping easier, and blah, 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 blah. Boring. Coffee rules. Coffee fucking rules, dog.
You know,
I know you don't do coffee.
I don't do coffee because I don't like the taste of it. Would I love to have a little morning thing? Oh my God.
It's a morning ritual, and I'll tell you this.
I would love to have a little morning treat that I could go out and get myself and go for a walk to. I would love to have something that makes mornings slightly more bearable. I would love to have all these
It's not
things.
me. It's not me, though.
I would love
It's
to
not
have
me.
coffee on It's Too Early morning.
Yeah, there's something nice about having the morning ritual, and I've got the coffee maker that has the clock on it.
I know.
And so every morning, like, my alarm goes off, and that sucks, but then the coffee smell happens, and that rules.
Nice.
Actually, the coffee smell happens a little bit beforehand because it helps me wake up.
Okay.
And I've tried with the decaf. Let me tell you something. There's nothing more insulting, and I'll probably do it today after the show. We will probably do this. There's nothing more insulting than paying $5 for a cup of decaf coffee or a decaf latte.
Yeah.
You're just like, give me some dirt water and fake milk. I would like to give you $5
There's
for
not
that.
one real thing in it.
There's not
You're
a
getting
single-
decaf with oat milk.
It's like the ice is real, I guess.
Maybe.
I
knows?
guess. It's like boring. And I've been like talking to my friends, and they're like, "Oh, you should add a little herbal tea to your day." I'm like, okay, Grandma.
You know, I wish there was a nice smell that I could have when my alarm goes off. I am very violent with my alarms. There's nothing in the world that upsets me more than an alarm going off. And I understand that there's no getting around that. I've tried different sounds. I've tried different types of alarms. There's nothing I can do that doesn't make me violent the minute my alarm goes off. And that's a rough way to start the day.
As somebody who has had to come by before in the morning when you are not awake and wake you up, I am aware. As somebody who is a human alarm,
Yeah.
I know the way you treat alarms.
I have fallen asleep during every movie I've ever watched with anyone on a couch because I am always exhausted. And waking me up is very hard.
Not only is it hard, but she's so mad.
I'm not a heavy sleeper. That's not why it's hard.
She's so mad.
It's very easy to get me awake. It's very hard after I am.
The most angry I've ever seen her is when I was trying to keep. You remember when we were having her watch every single Fast and Furious movie? The angriest I've ever seen her is when I was trying to keep her awake during Fast 6.
Because it's a combination of things, Anthony.
I know.
One, I don't believe I'm asleep. I don't believe you. You're lying to me. Fucked up, man.
That's the funniest part of it is like, fuck you, I was not asleep. I'm like, okay, man,
And
I don't
also-
want to argue about it.
But like me at any other time would never be angry about it, even if I was wrong.
So defensive.
Like I've never been more defensive in my life than the minute I'm woken up. I'm not just convinced I was asleep. I'm pissed that you thought so.
Yeah, it's
And
just, it's
honestly,
insulting. It's insulting to her.
Yeah.
It's just like, how dare you even say, what am I asleep? What am I, a child? A child that naps like a baby? Fuck you. And it's just like, hey man, you just fell asleep, so I'm waking you up. And it's like, no, I didn't, and no, you're not.
And then about 3 minutes in, I go, oh, sorry, I was asleep.
No shit, dude.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was asleep, so I apologize for the way that I treated you about it. Because
you know those
it sets in.
You know the shirts and the signs and the hilarious like all the things that say, I'm sorry for the way I treated you when I was hungry or when I was hangry. For Saige, it's when I was sleepy.
I think I'm still asleep for those.
Do you remember that famous Sandra Bullock movie? When I was sleepy?
I think for those first 3 minutes, I'm actually still asleep. I'm a big sleep talker, and I think that's all it is. I think the first 3 minutes you wake me up, I'm not awake.
That's the thing, is if Saige is talking during a movie, she's asleep.
Yeah.
And so if Saige starts talking to me during a movie, I'm like, oh, hey, wake up. Wake up.
Good morning, we have news.
Good morning, we're awake. We're awake. We haven't had any caffeine, unless you had caffeine. Did you have Dr. Pepper this morning?
I did not, no.
No,
I only have a morning Dr. Pepper in really dire situations. Today is not that day. Let's get started with some games news, and then we will slowly plummet into the atrocities of the world in a little bit.
Yeah, like Netflix being $20 a month.
Much bigger things also, but
22?
No, bud.
Oh, okay.
Let's start with Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. I'm so freaking excited for these games. I am just grasping to any little tiny piece of news, even if it's just a rumor, even if it's just an interpretation of a sentence.
Which is what this is.
Yes.
It is simply the Pokemon subreddit interpreting a sentence and spinning out wildly into conjecture, but it is an interesting conjecture. There was a page on the Pokemon site that said that in Violet and Scarlet, let me see. Do we have? No, we do not.
Wait, what about me?
What about you? Yay.
Dude, just pictures of Violet and Scarlet.
Basically, there was a piece of text that said, various towns blend seamlessly into the wilderness with no borders, right? You'll be able to see the Pokemon of this region in the skies, in the seas, in the forests, on the streets, all over. You'll experience the true joy of the Pokemon series. And then, this is what was highlighted. Battling against wild Pokemon in order to catch them, now in an open world game that players of any age can enjoy.
That sounds like just describing Pokemon.
The conjecture here is that whereas in Arceus, you can just toss a Pokeball.
Yeah.
Toss a Pokeball, catch a Pokemon.
You don't battle.
You don't do a traditional battle. You might have to go back to battling Pokemon to wear them down to get...
So I assumed that was going to be the case with this. Did you not?
I did. I did assume that. I thought,
I think the Legends Arceus game is a separate series of a different play style, and I didn't assume that they were going to adopt that. I thought that they were continuing the way you play Pokemon games, just adding the open world aspect of it. Otherwise, we have... I want personally to go back to battling.
Well, it's tough because... There were, thinking about the forward motion they've taken with the console games on the Switch, Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu also were kind of like throw a ball, catch a Pokemon.
Well,
a little bit because they wanted to do this
motion control thing.
So I thought maybe they were
Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I don't know. I do want the battles to exist because I think that was something that Arceus was light on that made it feel very different. But I want the battles to happen seamlessly in the open world. I hope that's what's happening.
Okay.
I don't want random encounter style. Now I've seen a Pokemon, I threw a ball at it in the open world, and now we go to a battle screen of my Pokemon and your Pokemon and in the game. I want it to happen out in the open world.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I would definitely support that. I just think that without battling, I would be very disappointed. I just think that the Legends Arceus was a separate, not mainline game.
They were trying a lot of
stuff. You shouldn't expect that that's like the way Pokemon is made now, because it's not a traditional Pokemon game.
Well, and now that we know how quickly Violet and Scarlet are coming, we know that there were two teams clearly working on these games at the same time, meaning they probably weren't developing it together. One does not necessarily have to take the tech of the other because they're not going from one to the next to the next to the next.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that they would be share some tech, but be a little different. I like this.
I like it.
I like this.
We don't know if it's a thing.
We don't know if it's a thing. This is just what people are saying.
But it does sound like it. I mean, them saying you battle does imply to me they battle.
This popped up on the Pokemon subreddit, of course, and people are pretty positive about it. I think as much as everybody liked Arceus and the way Arceus worked, I do think people were kind of like missing a little bit of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a very similar take to what you had said here. The top comment on here is, I'm not complaining, but if the battles are done in the exact place you're standing instead of some sub-dimension of whatever, then I'll be very happy.
Yeah, make it seamless. There's no reason for it not to be seamless in this day and age.
Yeah, I agree.
In this day and age of Netflix costing $20, surely we have the technology to have an open world Pokemans.
I agree. I think most people in here are probably on the same page that it should be done. There's definitely some responses of like, they'll never do it. The Pokemon Company could never.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that just want to be like, what if I told you that Pokemon sucks and always sucks, and they make bad games that are bad? And like, look, are Game Freak games a little jank this generation?
But like, if that's
baby,
your opinion,
you bet.
Why are you on r/Pokemon?
To yell, there's no bigger fan than a hater. There's no bigger fan than a hater that was a fan.
Don't read Reddit comments. Reddit's the bad place.
Except for the people that are saying the good comments.
Reddit is still a bad place.
Reddit is a bad... Man, do you remember when Reddit was the worst place?
Well,
do you remember when it was literally like the worst place on the internet?
I mean, I don't think that Reddit has gotten a lot better. Yeah, I mean, they've banned a lot of subreddits that they had previously. I will say they've gotten a lot better about banning subreddits. But like...
No, there's so many worse places on the internet now. And it's not that Reddit's gotten better.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, what I picture back to is when I think of that time, I go, nah, it was still 4chan.
That's true.
4chan.
That's true. But
yeah, Death and Saints went the same place I did.
But then 4chan got too much power publicly and became even worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think the Pokemon games are fun. And they are
love them very much.
And they are mostly for youths.
And for me.
And for you. But like, remember that. Always remember that. Remember that they are trying to cater to you as much as possible while also making a game predominantly for the youth.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
And that's okay. It's okay for something not to be for you. Speaking of which,
whoa, this is rough.
Hello Neighbor was trending on Twitter yesterday, and I clicked on it, and I was trying to figure out what it was because I didn't think the cause of it could possibly be this.
I saw Hello Neighbor trending, and I was like, okay, all right, let's see what's up. I went to see if there was something new about it or something about the developer or the publisher.
New game.
It was trending because so many people just straight up in this viral tweet of which horror game would you delete?
I don't even know what game that is.
That is The Rulerman.
Yeah, of course. Somebody tell me what game that is.
I don't know what that is. And so many people, it's trending because so many people in these 4 games just immediately said Hello Neighbor. That's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
That Baldi's Basics. Thank you. I remember.
Oh, okay. I played it. I played Hello Neighbor. It's fun.
It's pretty fun.
It definitely has its mechanical issues.
I liked it better than Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Right. I personally like it better than Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy's person. I have like a little bit of like for Five Nights at Freddy's because of the Five Nights at Freddy's community and creator.
Yeah. We
Because of all
don't like
that.
Scott Cawson.
Right. So I think inherently I dislike actually the game, and I picture the game very poorly. It's like genuinely bled in.
And I'm sort of like, yeah, and that's the other thing is like I'm a bit tired of it. But that doesn't mean it wasn't a super influential. Like, I understand it, but it just sucks. It must suck to like wake up, be the developer of Hello Neighbor, and be like, holy shit, our game is trending.
Yeah.
Holy shit, and then look and be like, fuck.
Look how traumatic this is. It's the Five Nights at Freddy community are just too much for me.
It's
too much.
It's just listen. It's for grimdark children, and like it's for edgy grimdark children, and that's fine. I was an edgy grimdark child. You need room as a child to explore that space.
Hello Neighbor.
Everybody's just saying hello neighbor into the back rooms with you.
I mean, honestly, that would be pretty cool.
So I don't know. I think that's a bummer for Hello Neighbor because I think it was fun. But Hello Neighbor, I don't think the problem with Hello Neighbor, the reason that people didn't play it was that it was worse than any of these games. I think it's the same problem that we talk about all the time, where it was another one of those like multiplayer semi-asymmetrical games. And even like the single,
You had to get your friends on it.
yeah, and like the single player was fine and kind of spooky, but like it wasn't the point.
Yeah.
And so the game just kind of didn't thrive because of that. I don't know. I just think it's a bummer. I was like, oh, I wonder if something interesting is happening with Hello Neighbor, and I guess it was in a way. You want to talk about things sort of not living up to expectations, Saige?
Okay.
I want to talk about the Microsoft Xbox console or series of consoles. Perhaps you have heard of them.
I have.
In 20 years of Xbox, and I feel like this is going to work. In 20 years of Xbox, they have only sold 2.3 million units in Japan.
It's just not.
That's across all generations.
It's not the thing.
It's just not the thing.
It's just not the thing.
It's just not. They don't like it over there. It wasn't their thing.
Interested.
I think when the first one came out, it was because they weren't particularly interested in Western developers yet as much.
Yeah.
And also the size of it. You remember the first Xbox? Like, it was a point of pride that the first Xbox was just a honkin' chonky, big, gigantic, fucking slab of a boy with those like crazy original Xbox controllers, the Duke controllers.
Yup.
Which I actually really liked. I love a huge controller. Dreamcast. Fucking love a Dreamcast controller. N64. GameCube controller's not big. Feels big.
It's big in comparison to like PlayStation.
Yeah.
It is still. It has a lot more bulk than PlayStation. It has a lot more bulk, obviously, than like anything Nintendo's doing, or has done otherwise. That was their big boy since N64. But anyways,
another big thing is just the dominance of Sony there. Sony is a huge property, a huge corporation the world over, but especially in Japan, where they're also kind of a point of pride.
Yeah.
Like they're considered like a seal of quality, like a Japan seal of quality. Sony just has a cachet there that nobody can touch.
So here's my question. I want to know then, like gaming culturally over there, is it a niche thing to have where you're like, ooh, you're really into gaming, you have an Xbox, like, oh shit, like, you know, everyday gamers, everybody has their PlayStation and their Switch, for instance, that's like very standard. And I want to know, is it like a cool niche where it's like, oh shit, okay, not many people like that console, but like you're into it, like you having, you know, a Sega Saturn, right?
You're right.
Or is it like uncool to be on an Xbox?
I don't think it's uncool, but I do think it's for a specific audience. Like if you look at the 5 biggest sellers of each generation, here we go. So for the first Xbox, the original Xbox, the top sellers were number 1, Dead or Alive 3.
Okay, that makes sense.
And listen, Dead or Alive 3 is a very solid technical fighting game. And it was beautiful, and they actually toned down the grossness for Dead or Alive 3 and then ratcheted it back up immediately afterwards. But I can go off on Dead or Alive. Number 2 was Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball. That's the second highest selling.
Okay, I'm familiar with the game.
Yeah,
wow.
we all are.
Okay.
It was 200,000. It was 217,000 copies for DOA 3. 127,000 copies. Imagine that being the second highest selling game for a console of a generation. Number 3 was Halo, which didn't even get 80,000 sold. Number 4, Dead or Alive Ultimate, and number 5, Ninja Gaiden.
Okay. They love the Dead or Alive over there.
That was literally a Team Ninja console. That whole generation was all about Itagaki.
Okay.
That was more like a Itaboxy. I don't know. For the 360, the top 5 were Star Ocean 4, Tales of Vesperia, Blue Dragon, The Last Remnant, and Kinect Adventures. I think that's interesting because it shows Xbox 360, not the huge RPG simulation console.
Yeah.
Especially, dude, the 360 was the I hope you like brown and bloom light and men with thick necks and guns.
And that was the most popular of the consoles over there, wasn't it?
What?
The Xbox 360?
Yeah, the 360 was the top seller. The highest selling game for the Xbox 360 was Star Ocean 4 with 208,000 copies sold. They've never had like a 300,000 copy selling game in Japan on the Xbox. Wow. Never. For the Xbox One, the number 1 was actually Titanfall.
Okay.
But here's the thing. This is where you want to talk about that niche thing. Mm-hmm. This is where it becomes niche.
Okay.
If you have an Xbox, if you had an Xbox One in Japan, it's because you enjoy Western style action and shooter games, which are not as popular over there. So you look at it, Titanfall was the number 1 seller, but only at 43,000 copies.
Wow, that's very low.
It's extremely low. Kinect Sports Rivals, Halo the Master Chief Collection,
Okay.
Dead Rising 3, and Forza Motorsport. I want to say Master Chief Collection, Dead Rising 3, and Forza all sold under 20,000 copies. Dead Rising 3 and Forza sold under 15,000 copies. Now, this is wild. And when you want to look at why numbers are always so low generation over generation when you talk about Xbox versus PlayStation, it's because Japan still has a huge population that plays video games. I mean, it is saturated over there. Adults, it was considered an adult thing to play video games in Japan in 1979. Like, it is a normal hobby over there. So when you lose Japan, you lose, even though it's a country with a small population, you lose a huge population of gamers.
Huge market, yeah.
So it's very fascinating to look at. Now, Microsoft has actually, over the years, they put a lot initially into winning Japan. They did their best to, make inroads over there. And over the last generation or two, they've just been like, meh. They've pulled out of Japanese gaming events. They wouldn't go to, the large gaming shows over there. Mm-hmm. In 2020, Phil Spencer just sent a pre-recorded message, which was to the Tokyo Game Show, which is one of the biggest things they've done in years.
Yeah.
He said, Japan is our fastest growing region worldwide. Very easy when you start from nothing to have a large percentage of growth. We love business speak. Japan is our fastest growing region worldwide. We learn from the past.
We try every generation to not be so uninteresting to you. It hasn't worked yet, but we are trying. Speaking
as somebody who has I wouldn't say I have I guess I have a more Japanese taste than the average person when it comes to video games.
Than the average American, maybe.
Yeah, than the average American. I guess I do a little bit, but really the Xbox was not super exciting to me for a very long time. Just because when everything was Shoot Man Bloodfest, I was like, I don't give a shit about Shoot Man Bloodfest.
It was a Halo box for me for a long time because though it was Shoot Man, it was not Bloodfest.
Right. And that was what it was for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I kind of got into Halo. Like, I had an original Xbox.
Yeah.
And then when the 360 came out, I was like, eh.
I've had all the Xboxes.
I wound up eventually owning a 360 because of the game store, because of XBLA, because they all of a sudden became the indie console. And then I was like, well, shit. Now you have my attention. Me and 13 other people are like, oh shit, this is a Castle Crashers machine. I can't wait to play Braid over and over and over again.
In continued Microsoft news, specifically...
Braid has not aged well.
Specifically, Halo news. Halo Infinite Multiplayer Season 2 has been announced. It is called Lone Wolves, and the release date is May 3rd.
Wow.
It's coming up.
That's, well, now we know why the head of multiplayer for Halo felt so comfortable resigning this week. I guess that one's all buttoned up.
Don't worry about it. You got almost 2 months until Season 2. That's plenty of time to replace them.
Look, Season 2's probably buttoned up. You can start thinking about Season 3. Take your time.
Yeah, by the time that we need to start working on Season 3, they'll have somebody in that role.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, listen, it would be weird for us to say that Halo Infinite is haunted. It would be strange for us to say that because it's a game. It's not a place. It's not a thing.
It can't really be.
It can't be haunted.
I mean, I guess it depends on. We do have a very structured then view of haunting, right? That we made up anyways and haven't confirmed. So
it can't be. You don't think it's haunted? Why do people keep leaving?
Well,
and every time somebody leaves, whatever they were responsible for comes out, and it's not great. It's not haunted, though, right?
Probably not. Now, something you might have been looking forward to very much is that they did say that by Season 2 there would be campaign co-op. It's not seeming that way. It isn't. They did say that some of the larger, more wide open sections of the campaign present some big challenges for split screen that have taken them some more time to solve. So it will not be ready on May 3rd, but they do say that they are aiming to release it during this season.
I genuinely believe, at first I was like, how is split screen a technical issue for you? There have been split screen games since, and then I went, oh no. Anybody who finding somebody who has programmed a split screen game at this point has to be going and finding somebody that knows how to shoot a movie on black and white film. A split screen co-op? Well, there's one old man that I heard about, a crazy old man that lives off in the mountains. If we can find him, he can program our split screen for us.
I'm out of the game.
Which game? All of them.
I'm out of games.
Out of all the games. Please come back. All we know how to do is program things to work over the internet. We can't even do LAN anymore.
Kids these days. Fine, I'll save games.
You're gonna save games by bringing back split screen.
It's gonna take me a while, to be honest. Don't give him too early of a date. Shit, we told him Season 2.
The guy comes down from the mountain and he looks at the boxes and he looks at the dev kits and he goes, oh, I don't know what to do with these. And that's the problem. You have a genius from another era trying to program. It's like, look, it would be like giving Nikola Tesla an iPad. You know? He wouldn't know what to do.
I, honest to God, can't believe it's taken them this long, though, to get campaign co-op. It's a built-in feature to every game in this series they've ever done. Yeah. This feels like such a big miss. I think that they probably saw the opportunity of, well, it's a pandemic. People aren't sitting on couches together anyways. Let's just get the game out because people want to be able to play with their friends they can't see. But you know what I mean? There were so many delays to Halo Infinite. Yeah. And also, we've put so many hundreds of millions of dollars into this thing, and if it slides anymore, our investors will be very mad. Yeah, honestly, that's probably part of it. That's probably a big part of it. So, I'm disappointed for sure that it doesn't exist yet. I understand. I don't want, the employees to have to crunch. I don't want any of those things. But look, they say
we're just going to put out multiplayer first, right? But then the single player came real quick after that. And I don't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why. Because a lot of people in the live studio audience here are talking about things in Halo Infinite that they're still a little bummed by. Like somebody just mentioned, you can't replay missions. You still can't select missions and replay them.
Yeah.
But progression is dependent on grinding specific types of missions.
Yeah.
That's a huge miss. There's functionality that they didn't put in, and if they were really going to delay that single player or delay that campaign, fucking really delay it and put all hands on that multiplayer.
Yeah.
You know? That's just I don't know. I mean, I understand that like I understand that like it's two different teams and two different skill sets, but there's got to be something that you could have put more manpower onto that.
It's Microsoft. You have all of the money in the world. Stop buying companies and give more money to 343 if they need it to make the campaign co-op.
But that's the other thing is like they did give money to 343. I'm very interested in hearing years from now what the behind the scenes on this is, because Halo Infinite is like the most expensive game of all time.
Yeah.
They had money.
Yeah, that's fair. They had no shortage of money.
But I don't know. I mean, obviously pandemic and all kinds of, and you know, people are like video games are hard. Yes, video games are hard. Video games are hard is something that we say because we don't harass and we don't get angry at specific people or developers. Video games are hard.
Video games very hard.
This is the largest game ever made by the third largest video game company in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like the millionth in a series.
Yeah.
Including remakes and all of this stuff. They either were not thinking when a lot of this functionality was missing.
Yeah.
Or like we were just saying, Microsoft was like, it doesn't matter how much time you need.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. We're putting it out. It's weird. It's weird. And I do wish everybody working on that game at 343, I wish them all the best, because it's rough. It's rough to be on something this huge.
Of course. Absolutely. In continued money news, Anthony's been yelling about this all day, so I think we should probably get to it.
Fuckity fuck.
Go on.
Netflix. This is the old nursery rhyme. I'm now a bridge troll. Fuckity fuck. Netflix wants $20. Give your money to them, you will.
Look, how much was it before?
The ultimate super 4K HDR family sharing plan was like $15.
Okay, so yeah, it is going from $15.49. Oh wait, no.
No, it went from $15.49 to $17.99.
Okay.
And now it's going to be like $20.99. Like
$19.99.
Like the Spider-Man. It's fucking wild. It's fucking wild that they're going to charge $20 for a single streaming service.
That is a lot when we pay for so many now.
That's the thing. A streaming service, Netflix is trying to do this because Netflix is first. Netflix has been entrenched. People think of having Netflix. And also, they're just like hemorrhaging money. They're just hemorrhaging money. So they're just like, let's see, we're worth $20. If anybody can do it, we can do it, because you're used to having Netflix.
Right. And they keep making more and more expensive films with bigger and bigger expensive celebrities. And they think, well, you have to pay us back for that. And we're like, we didn't ask for that. You know what I have Netflix for? I don't know. The Tinder swindler?
Literally, Netflix was started off as the golden place where you can just like watch movies.
Also, hi Bijan.
Hi Bijan. Whatever, like, oh, there's a movie I want to watch. It's probably on Netflix.
Yeah.
Now, number one, that's almost never the case anymore.
Correct.
And number two, like, they want you to pay for their original programming, which, look, they've got some good original programming. Do they have $20 a month worth of original programming for me? I don't think so.
Now, not all plans are going to be $20. They will range from $9.99 to $19.99, depending on what you have in your plan.
Yeah.
Some of those things include things like HD viewing, how many people can be using it, etc.
I think for 4K, if you want 4K,
it's 20.
There's no bottom plan that has 4K.
Correct.
And if you want 4K HDR and all the fancy bells and whistles, that's top plan.
So it's about how many screens you can watch it on at a time. So with the $9.99 plan, it's no HD and one screen at a time. So you watch it in standard def.
Imagine paying $10 to download a standard definition video. That's fucking wild to me.
I know.
That's more than most streaming services are per month.
Here's what I'll say. Split Netflix with people. Do not pay for your own Netflix.
You have to split Netflix with people.
If you're not sharing Netflix with people, you're just throwing away money. You're setting it on fire.
Half a dozen donuts in the live studio audience says it does suck that there isn't a one stream high quality option. Yeah. What if I, just me, for myself, for my one giant television house, I just want to watch one thing at a time. I don't need 4 people watching things you know what I mean? Like, can't I just have a single screen plan?
Yep.
No. Only in standard def. That's fucking wild. I did cancel Netflix in the midst of the Chappelle stuff. It was the final straw for me. It wasn't like the entire thing, but it was a big part of it.
Yeah, I canceled it, and then I do have a friend's login though.
See, I was the friend that had the login for a few people.
I was.
Yeah.
But I feel like most people have like a couple of Netflixes. If they don't have their own, they've got access to a couple.
I actually don't have one right now. Somebody hit me up in the Discord. Give me your Netflix login.
Yeah. I was the one paying for Netflix, and I pay for Disney Plus. And then I have someone else's Hulu, someone else's HBO Max.
Yeah, I literally, I cannot believe the base plan is $10 a month for standard definition streaming in a world where you've got what? You've got Hulu, you've got Disney Plus, you've got Amazon Prime, you've got all of these streaming services. You've got, of course, Peacock, home of all of our favorite series.
I pay for Paramount Plus.
Right, because of the dating shows.
Not anymore. Now it's for RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's worth it. A lot of people were responding to this.
And Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll, which is also now Funimation, which, like, goodbye to whatever pricing there is there. Standard new plan price. Every year we have this email from Netflix. It's true. They've been raising prices pretty steadily at a time when people are, number one, really pinching pennies, and number two, home a lot and very aware of what they watch. Mm-hmm. And over the last couple of years, they've really been like nickel and diming. And so people are very used to this. I just want to know why I wake up once a month with an email from Netflix saying they're increasing their prices.
It does feel like it happens a lot. Every time I open Netflix, it's like, just so you know,
seriously,
more money this month.
Another price increase. Netflix just sent me an email saying they're going to charge me $20 a month now. About to cancel Netflix at this point. Like, y'all keep raising the price for what? It's true. And a lot of my favorite stuff, a lot of the stuff that I really enjoy on Netflix just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Number one, movies just are leaving in droves.
Non-existent. All of my movies are on HBO or Amazon.
Yeah. Once the studios were like, shit, we just gave all our power to Netflix.
Yeah. Or Hulu.
They just left, started their own streaming services. And that's the other thing, is now that I have to pay, like, I don't have to, but now that I'm expected to pay for like 5 or 6 streaming services.
Yeah.
Y'all better not be more than $7 a month.
This is my opportunity to tell you, if you are not watching the new season of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, or you have not watched Marvelous Mrs. Maisel up to this point,
it's so wonderful.
It's the best fucking show. It is the only show that I like laugh out loud at.
Dude, so much of it, I think
it's one of the best acted shows on television.
I feel like whenever I watch Mrs. Maisel, I feel like I'm hanging out with my grandparents when they were like when they were like in their 40s.
Yeah. I mean,
And,
that's
like,
a particularly Jewish experience that we have. But
yeah, I really do. Like for me, it's very much like I understand this family.
Yeah.
And this was my family, and this is what the culture of my family was like, right, like just before I was born. You know what I mean? Like when my parents were born.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, I love this. It's very comfy for me to watch, but it's also just funny in general.
It's so fucking good. The writing is phenomenal. The timing is incredible. The acting is just highest of top tier. And woman-led comedies don't get enough attention.
Dude. One of these tweets is, remember when Netflix was $6.99? Yeah. Fucking wild.
That is wild.
I wonder how much it costs for access to a pretty good Plex server. Not that I'm putting that idea in people's heads.
In related news, Disney Plus is introducing a cheaper subscription offering that includes ads, which we've seen a good amount of. Hulu has done this. I know Paramount Plus does this. I want to say Peacock does it.
Yeah.
It's something we've seen a good amount of. So they are planning on offering a lower tier with ads. I don't mind this.
Hey, Dagger?
What are you doing back there, bud?
Producer Dagger, you need to focus on the quality of the show.
So the regular Disney Plus is $7.99 a month right now, which is great in comparison.
It's going to go up.
I know.
It's going to go up.
Especially with them introducing this option.
We're going to reach the 3-year mark, and a lot of people signed up with that initial 3-year deal.
Got it.
It's going to go up.
I do think it's going to go up, but it'll probably go up to $9.99.
I'm going to say 11.
Really? You think it's going to jump from $7.99 to 11?
I think it might.
I don't think so. I don't think they would make that at once. I think that's an incremental shift. I think it's $9.99.
Hey, bud. Genuinely, we're trying to talk about industry news here.
Please, we're a business show.
We're a business show, please.
They have not announced what that price will be, only that there is a lower tier coming. I mean, I think cheaper ad-supported tiers on streaming services are fine.
The way this is worded, here's what I think. I think ad-supported becomes the $7.99.
Really? No, they said cheaper.
It'll be cheaper than a standard subscription. November 2022. Yeah, Cubanono said it in the live studio audience. November 2022, when the 3 years is up, I want to see how their prices hop. It may not be exactly in November. They may wait a few months just so people are lulled into a false sense of security.
I think they released this one for like $5 a month right now. And then I agree in November, I think it goes up. I think it goes to $9.99 and then maybe like
$6.99 for ads?
$6.99.
Yeah, you're going to save $1 to watch 14 ads.
Exactly. I actually think that's probably it. That's my guess.
It's interesting. I mean, to have cut the cable and then just wind up 6-7 years later just right back at cable, so obnoxious. We knew it was going to happen. But this is basically what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that there's a future where we see more mergers like Funimation and Crunchyroll, so people aren't paying with a bunch of different ones. But I mean, some of these companies are just too big for that.
And I just don't want to see more mergers.
I get that. I want to see a merging of the streaming services, but I agree. Then there's these massive companies behind them that we don't want to see condense.
I mean, that was supposed to be the idea behind Hulu, is that these different studios could sign up and become part of it and do rev splits. But I think Disney just wanted too much control of Hulu. You know?
Yeah.
And so other studios just didn't want that. I don't know, man. And then I wonder even what's going to happen to Hulu now that Disney Plus is around for so long.
Pills and Advice in the live studio audience said, I thought that Saige said murders instead of mergers.
Murders and executions. Because Hulu was ABC, Disney, Fox,
Which
and
is now Disney also.
Yeah, and then what was the third one? Paramount? I forget who the third one was, but it was those three studios, and two of them are Disney now. What's going to happen to the Hulu, I wonder?
That is very interesting.
Dun, 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 dun. NBC, thank you. That's right, it was NBC.
Okay, which NBC has Peacock now.
NBC has Peacock now, so what's going to happen? Dun, 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 dun.
Interesting.
In other gigantic corporation news, Apple's got an event tomorrow.
Okay.
So things are coming. Are you excited for the Apple event?
You know, I don't know what to look forward to right now with these.
I'm currently not looking for a new phone.
I would like a new phone. I'm at that point. I have the 11.
Oh, yeah.
I'm behind enough now that it's time. I have the 11 Pro Max. And it's wearing. It definitely is doing the thing where it's starting to like, the battery's not lasting as long.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terrible, but like I see other people's cameras and I'm like, ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. I think there was a big jump. I've got the 13, which the one that I had previously, I had the 11.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to go every other year.
Same.
Even though now I'm kind of like, this will have to be like having hardware issues before I get rid of it. I think it's just really good.
Yeah, I was planning on doing the 13, and then AT&T was trash about it.
I remember that.
And they were like, just kidding, give us $1 million if you want a new phone. And I was like, I thought I signed up because I wouldn't have to pay $1 million for a new phone. And they were like, sucks.
You thought.
They kicked me in the shin and called me a loser.
Yeah. They'll do that. It's in your contract.
Fuck, man. I had no idea. I really should have read that.
They're allowed.
One thing I am in the market for, though, specifically, is I am in the market for a new iPad.
Milana vein trouble just kick you in the ankles.
Yeah.
It's like rude.
It hurts.
It's rude. You're like, you came from YouTube.
Right.
You were supposed to be nice. You were going to be Squirrel Girl.
And then the contract. So I'm definitely in the market for a new iPad. That's a big one for me. I have a very old generation of iPad. Like I couldn't even tell you. I've probably had it since like 2014, maybe. Like I have an old ass iPad, maybe.
But they last longer because you don't do as much on them.
They do. So I don't use my iPad a ton, and I haven't up to this point. I didn't need an iPad. And then we went back to Failed Save in person. Mm-hmm. And I went to other like games that I'm playing in person for tabletop.
iPad's great for that.
And it's really, really great for character sheets. Now I'm still able to use mine. It can get on the D&D Beyond app. That's fine. But the power button is broken. So I have to have the little button on the screen to like lock my screen.
Right.
And if I don't do that or somebody accidentally hits a button, it doesn't go to sleep automatically. So it just kills my battery. Like it's too bad. It's too small as well. And I see other people with theirs sideways and they can have their notes and their character sheet side by side. And I'm officially in. You're like, but iPads are like $2,000 now. A nice iPad is $1,000 to $2,000 now.
The Air is a good iPad, and it's not the Pro.
I want a big boy. Big boy with a pen.
You want the one that's like the size of your torso.
So that I can have my notes and my character sheet next to each other.
Now the pen works on the cheaper ones now too.
But it's about the size of the screen.
See, I almost want the mini one.
Yeah.
I have. My iPad is from 2017. It's the second iPad Pro they made. It's the 10.5 inch one.
Yeah, mine was before Pro existed.
I have two right now. Mm-hmm. My first is not an iPad Air 2, not an iPad Pro 2, an iPad 2. Like the second iPad they ever made in like 2011. Like it turns on for 14 minutes. You have 14 minutes and the newest OS it runs is iOS 9. And I was thinking I might put it in a little frame and use it as like on the wall and use it as like a smart home controller. Wow. But it's actually
not smart enough.
It's not smart enough. Okay. It's tough to do. So I have that, and then I have my iPad Pro 2. And the problem with my iPad Pro 2, I told you about this. My iPad Pro 2 has a section of the digitizer.
Oh yeah.
It's just a strip in the middle. Mm-hmm. Where the pencil doesn't work. And I was using it a lot for like note taking and drawing.
Yeah.
And that's gone now. And I'm trying to decide a new screen assembly is going to be 2.5 hours of my time and $200.
Not worth it.
Or I could get a new iPad, but like the cheapest new iPad that I want is like, they're like $600 now. $500, $600.
For the mini.
Yeah.
Because, the Pro starts at, I think, $1,300.
No.
Yeah, dude.
The Pro starts at over $1,000?
Yeah, it does.
No.
Absolutely. My mom sent me listings for iPad Pros at Costco, and they were like $1,200.
Surely not.
Yeah.
Netflix is $20, and iPad Pros cost over $1,000?
Yeah, man.
How long have I been asleep?
A while.
That's the thing.
want it.
Okay, you can get the 11-inch for $799, but you can't get a big boy for less than $1,000.
Yeah. So the Pro, there's an 11-inch Pro?
Yeah.
I thought the Pro was the big boy.
It is, but like there are two big boys. There's the one that like Abria's got.
Uh-huh.
And then there's one that's just like a little smaller.
You see,
it's gonna be big.
Ash and Abria both got big boy iPads.
Oh my God! Now you have to have one.
And I'm getting a little bit of peer pressure to be cool like them.
But look,
and mostly just because I want to be cool like them.
But look, it's only 2 inches smaller, and you save $400.
2 inches could go a long way.
Fair.
I think I would like it.
Fair.
I think I would like to get the big boy iPad. This one.
I think, yeah. I don't know that I want a Pro. I don't know that I need a Pro. If I got a Pro, it would be, well, I mean, it should be better than my phone. It should be better than my phone.
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
We have like the difference of you like the little phone.
Yeah,
you want your phone as little as possible, and I want my phone as big as possible.
Yeah, I don't like a phone that's too big because I like to be able to put a phone in my pocket.
And women don't get pockets anyways.
I know.
So, anyways, this is not at all the news.
No, this is the news. This is what people are talking about right now. So, but here's the thing: there probably isn't going to be a new Pro.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a new Air.
There's going to be a new Air.
Yeah.
And there might be a bump to the Mini, which I would like to see. The Mini has been out of stock everywhere, which makes me think there will be a bump or a redesign.
That would make sense.
Also, it looks like there's going to be an iPhone SE, third generation iPhone SE.
Okay.
I think the original iPhone SE is one of the greatest designed pieces of electronics ever made.
He does think that. I
love the iPhone SE. I have an iPhone SE just in case, like, if I lose a phone or I break a phone or it gets stolen, I just have I kept my SE, and that's like my backup phone. Mm-hmm. And whenever I use it, I'm just like, damn, this is perfect. Ergonomically and like in terms of like the material design, it's just so perfect. I love just it's just a phone. It's just a tiny phone. Let me just have a phone. Another rumor says that the M2 processor is going to be coming.
Wow.
Yo, the internet's fast. The internet's like an M2 processor. And it will come in a redesigned MacBook Air.
Interesting. They would release it in an Air first.
I mean, the M1 came out in the Air and the regular MacBooks first. Remember?
Are you sure it didn't come in the Pro first?
Yeah.
Because I thought I had the first generation of it, and I'm a Pro.
Yeah. Pro and Air.
Okay,
they came out at the same time.
Yeah.
But
so that's why I'm saying it would be surprising for it to be just an Air first.
Maybe not. I think they like to test the new tech, and they want to see who will upgrade now immediately to the M2, those early adopters, because they know when they release a Pro, those same people will buy the Pro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're trying to double dip.
I don't want them to make me want a new laptop already. My laptop's very new and very shiny and very wonderful. It is having some issues.
Oh no!
I do need to take it into Apple and
why
be like, what's up?
What kind of issues?
It's having audio issues. It randomly stops recognizing its own mic and speakers.
Do you think it has anything to do with the number of times that we've spilled things on your laptop?
We have not spilled anything on this laptop.
Okay.
We've spilled a lot of things on this keyboard.
Oh, okay.
But this laptop was the one that...
Monkey said the same thing from the water.
No, Ghost spilled an entire glass of water on my laptop, and I had to have it replaced. This is not the same one.
This is a different... Yeah.
I had to have it entirely replaced.
Minotaur says something that I agree with. Apple touchscreen software is so much better than any Windows touchscreen. That's the thing. This chunky boy that I use, the Microsoft Surface Book 2, I love, and part of the thing about it is you detach it.
I'm just holding mine up to show off my stickers.
Oh yeah, and I'll hold mine up to show the difference. Oh no, the difference in laptop sizes here.
Okay.
I got a big chunky boy, and the whole point of this is you can pop the screen off and it becomes a tablet. And I was like, that's great. I'll do like my reading on it and I'll do like all this stuff on it and I won't need another tab. No. The touch and the pencil on the iPad and the
So different.
and the drawing apps and the everything is so much better.
It's completely different.
Microsoft has really left Windows tablet people behind, and it's kind of a bummer. So they've got a 3rd gen iPhone SE, a new iPad Air. So that's pretty exciting. So it's probably going to get a good processor. Might get that M1. If everything is moving up to M2, then you can expect the Air to get the M1.
Yep, that would make sense.
MacBook Air with M2. And then potentially all desktops are going to move to M1 Pro and Max. Every
Very
single
interesting.
desktop.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Including like iMacs and everything. And then of course they'll have a bunch of stuff about Apple TV.
Yeah,
They can't stop talking about Apple TV.
and that's okay.
The Ted Lasso network.
The Ted Lasso network. And I'm not interested, but that's okay. I'm happy for you if you are.
Yeah.
I'd still like one. It's just I never got around to it.
Here's the thing. I mean,
There's so many smart devices.
I just catch me next year, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
You know what I mean? Like,
not it.
I've spent the last 2 years indoors. You can tell me everything you want about your cool new mobile technology and how everything's improved, but I'm just like, I don't need it right now. I'm just sitting
not
around.
interested overall in this. I am interested overall in the event. I'm not interested in specifically was in the Apple TV portion of it. I am quite interested because I am in the market for a few things. And like, look,
She's in the market for the biggest tablet you can manufacture.
and the biggest phone. Look, I don't simp for any large corporation, as you shouldn't either. But when it comes to my tech, I do enjoy Apple tech very, very much.
Yeah.
I'm not an Apple fangirl as I used to be because I've had to live under capitalism now and understand the evil of large corporations. But
Yeah.
I'm going to use my tech and I want it ideally to be Apple most of the time.
I got this during the period of time when MacBooks were just fucking lagging behind.
Yeah.
You remember when it was just like, dude, these just keep getting more and more expensive and they're not adding anything.
Right. The
and they're
M1 was a
fucking
big
slow.
difference.
Yeah. So I got this in 2017 when it was kind of like fucking Apple laptop right now. Now it's 2022. This is still a decent enough laptop, but I could go back to an Apple laptop. I'm still gonna use a PC for my desktop just
Same.
because of all the PC things I do.
Of course. Same.
But I catch me next year. I might be in the market for a laptop. You know what I
So,
mean?
Let's move on to some business news because, man, did we just spend a long time talking about iPads just to, like on a personal level. Google Fiber workers are starting to talk about a union.
Ooh.
We love a union in this house.
A marriage of the two families.
We did get an update as well to that unions surrounding that was connected to Gizmodo, Kotaku,
Right,
a bunch
the
of those
GMG.
platforms. The GMG, they did win. They got what they asked for. They were able to
Dude,
end that strike. So congratulations to the GMG union. We're
this
very,
was
very happy.
a huge deal because, and they won it so quick. And I think the reason they won it so quick is because the Writers Guild got like TV writers and everybody involved involved this time.
Yeah.
When they tried to unionize a few years back, the GMG, they had such a rough time.
Yeah.
And nobody cared. And like nobody was paying attention to it. Getting like Hollywood writers involved and having Hollywood writers be like, we're going to stop writing your TV shows if you don't pay these people to write your news.
Boom. Yeah.
Huge deal.
That was great. So the strike is coming to an end. They have reached a deal. And also, thank you to Grumpy Steen in the live studio audience for suggesting that in our Discord and giving us that update.
Hey, thanks,
Thank you very
Grumpy
much.
Steen.
So continuing with the Google Fiber Union, we don't have a ton of information on it. There is voting open right now in Missouri where they're deciding whether to unionize as part of the Alphabet Workers Union, the AWU, a division of the Communication Workers of America. If it's successful, the 12 workers who are currently employed by a staffing agency in that area of Missouri that work at Google Fiber stores would be the AW's first bargaining unit to be recognized by the National Labor Relations Board.
So this is huge because the Alphabet Workers Union is not much of a thing yet, and should be a very strong thing. This is Alphabet, of course, is Google, the parent company. It's like when Facebook started calling themselves Meta. They're like, we're not Google, don't pay attention to us. Everybody, like, Google is one of the largest companies in the world. They should have, their employees should have one of the largest and strongest unions.
Yes, they should.
That's what it is. Right now, they don't. These are contract workers, which is very, very interesting. You know, it's like when somebody comes in to install your cable, they're not necessarily from Spectrum. They are a contractor that is hired out by Spectrum, which means these people are also probably not treated as great as they could be because they are contract workers.
As a contract worker, can confirm.
Can confirm. So it's really rough. So I'm glad that this is happening for them. Google said, we have many contracts with both unionized and non-union suppliers and respect their employees' right to choose whether or not to join a union. Just as we do for these employees, we expect all our suppliers to treat and pay their employees fairly, whether they are unionized or not. Now, this is interesting because that sounds like a great statement, but it's really Google pushing off
saying,
to BDS.
We're going to be fair either way. We expect you to too. You don't need a union to receive fairness, but if you want it.
Well, I mean, every company says that. And then what they're saying on top of this is because these people don't work for Google, because they don't work for Alphabet, they work for BDS. What this Google spokesperson is saying is you can't join the Alphabet Workers Union. You are not
an Alphabet worker.
You should talk to BDS first. BDS is who should be giving you your union benefits. Where BDS, I'll tell you, as somebody who's worked for one of these subcontractors before, BDS is probably 3 people, one who does the books, one who talks to Google, and one who tells you where to go. They are, for all intents and purposes, just 3 Google employees that Google does not want to pay well or give benefits.
Hey, our producer does seem to be sleeping during the show.
Hey, man, we're talking about... Here's the thing. He's lived a life of privilege and he doesn't understand why labor relations are so important because he's literally had everything provided for him.
He's really conked out there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's just like, oh, boring. It's not boring.
It's not boring. It's important.
It's important, Dagger.
We have a lot of business news to get to, so we're going to keep moving through it. One of the other huge pieces of business news, which we are qualified to cover, of course, Anthony got his MBA on the streets.
Yeah, and Saige passed the bar in the state of Virginia.
TikTok has temporarily banned video creation in Russia. You are not currently able to post to TikTok from Russia. And this is a very complicated issue because of a few things. One, they did it due to their policy on fake news. They said we have a fake news law. We have no choice but to suspend live streaming and new content to our video service while we review the safety implications of this law.
Now, the fake news law...
That's Russia's law.
Yeah, the fake news law is Russia's law, which they've just created. Fake news is, of course, one of those great names that they give to oppressive laws that say it's the opposite of what it's doing. Basically, Russia has said that if you post anything that is fake news, that is anything against Putin, or anything that talks about the Russian invasion of Ukraine, you can be... put in jail forever. Basically, you are not allowed to do this. So this is not so much TikTok being like solidarity as much because I think services like TikTok need to be fully operational during this. There are a lot of people in Ukraine right now that are posting TikToks. Kids, teenagers, families, people who are showing what it's really like right now.
Yeah.
And Russians need to be able to see this stuff because all they have is state-run media right now.
Yes. If you are limited to the echo chamber of propaganda that Vladimir Putin has created, you could genuinely get caught up in thinking that what they're doing isn't an invasion, which is very scary. That's really terrifying. And it might seem like TikTok is just a kid's app for dance videos, but it is a massive, massive part of our social media connection, particularly internationally. And yeah, as Alonzo in Live to the Audience said, there are live streams from Ukrainian TikTokers.
Oh,
there
yeah.
have been people that have just been sharing their experience of what's happening and what it looks like there. And that's important.
Now, currently, you can still log into TikTok. Russia hasn't shut TikTok down like they have shut down other outlets inside. This is TikTok doing this voluntarily, trying to stay open in Russia for a little bit longer. Some sites have already been like killed. Like you're not getting on Facebook, you're not getting on regular internet stuff in Russia right now. TikTok is trying to stay open, to keep DMs open, to make sure that people can see stuff that's coming from Ukraine. It's a lot of this stuff. They want to make sure that people in Russia can see what's really happening. I was watching. I watched a few videos of different news outlets. Vice did one of these. CNN did one of these. A couple outlets did these. BBC did one of these, where they went around in Russia and asked Russians what they thought was going on right now.
Right.
And it was a terrifying mix of more older people, but people who genuinely just believe the state-run media because it's all they're seeing.
Yeah.
We would have seen, we would have heard if something bad was happening. People who were saying things like, well, I saw on TV that we have to do it because they're attacking us and Putin's just trying to keep us safe, and it sucks that it's happening. But like, they're getting this misinformation. And then a lot of younger people were literally saying, I don't feel comfortable asking this question or answering this question.
It's not safe for them.
I cannot answer this right now.
There are tons and tons and tons of outlets also that have spoken to Russian people that show that they do not agree with what is happening. They understand the issue and they are obviously not in control of it. There's also obviously thousands of people taking to the streets in Russia protesting against Vladimir Putin, which is endangering their lives. It is terrifying and incredibly brave of those people.
Publicly, only 15% of people are coming out in Russia as against the invasion.
That's for a lot of people.
But that's publicly people who are willing to, put their lives on the line to say this fucking sucks.
Yeah, Geek Outs in the Live Studio Audience said 4,800 protesters were arrested yesterday. We've been making small comments along the way here about the Russian invasion, about Ukraine, because again, we're truly at the end of the day not qualified.
Absolutely.
We are people who care, and we want to make it clear that we care. And when these pieces of news are able to cross over into a thing that we are qualified to talk about, like TikTok, because we're just kind of two fools on the internet, I'm happy to make sure that we, reimpose that stance. But just so you know, please do your research. Please don't just consume pop culture media and get those spillovers from it. There's so much happening. Look
into actual news by actual reporters who know what they're talking about. But I'll say this as somebody who was working in tech reporting back during the Arab Spring. As much as Facebook really likes to just jerk themselves off about their role in the Arab Spring, at the time it was true. People need media that they can reach each other with that is not controlled or run by the government. Things like WhatsApp, things that have already been shut down.
Right.
I do want to say Russian advertisers. Now, here's the thing. Facebook is a trash machine. So as much as they want to yell Arab Spring, they've also caused some genocides and some horrible stuff.
Yes.
But this is kind of a big deal for Facebook. They've come under a lot of fire for empowering Russian media over the last 5-6 years, which they have, and it fucking sucks. They finally got rid of Sputnik and RT on their platform. They don't allow those to be shared out. They have finally said that Russian advertisers on Facebook can only run their ads in Russia.
Which is still very unfortunate right now.
It's terrible, but
because it's creating again that bubble of Russian media speaks to Russian people, and those are people who are highly impacted by this scenario.
So it's still not great, but what this does stop is it stops disinformation from within Russia spreading on Facebook as much. It minimizes it. You also cannot advertise to just Russia right now if you're on the outside, which is also good. That means outside advertisers can't control what's going into Russia, which was a huge thing. Like, coordinated Facebook advertising disinformation campaigns have been huge over the last few years. So while what we would love to see is Facebook say, hey, we're putting in the same sanctions, we're pulling out just like everybody else is pulling out. They're not going to do that. They're just going to be like, well, we'll just keep Russian money from Russia.
Yeah.
And the rest of the world can give us other money.
Yeah. And there's a lot of back and forth on all of these things that Russian people are losing access to. Advertising isn't really one of them, but all of the sanctions that are being imposed that are financial, that are, possibly one of the only ways that we have the ability to do anything right now. There's also a big harm to Russian people. Yeah. And that's a very, very difficult position to be in that I don't have the answer to by any means.
Yeah, it's tough because it's
I empathize very much with people in Russia that are losing access to any kind of normalcy and quality of life due to things not being shipped into Russia, due to them having limited access to the internet, due to places that are imposing these sanctions. I get it, and that's hard.
Yeah,
I couldn't possibly get it, honestly.
It's rough because it feels like, and once again, go watch Better News Than Us.
Yeah,
but it feels like if diplomacy isn't working, then all you can do is pull support, and the next step is a militaristic step, and nobody wants that.
Right.
So it's a really tough spot right now. It's bad. And it's gonna affect all of us worldwide
for a while.
In really weird small ways comparatively,
right.
Incredibly small ways.
Yeah.
And ways that we could have avoided. Like I pumped my first $6 gas this morning.
I did that yesterday.
Pumped my first $6 gas, and all I could think to myself was not like, we got to go over there and secure oil and freedom and all this garbage. None of that stuff. What I thought was, man, we've had so many chances to become energy independent, and we didn't. And this is why this dude has so much power.
Correct.
It's because we've allowed it. Anyway, moving on.
We have one more piece of pretty heavy, serious news, and it is a continuation of the conversation around Activision Blizzard. If you were here for our coverage when I think all of it really kind of hit its peak, we spoke previously about the woman who lost her life. She died by suicide on a business trip for Activision Blizzard, which has been very much linked to the harassment that she was receiving at work. Particularly sexual harassment for being a woman within the company. We obviously know Activision Blizzard is a horrific, terrible place. I say it every time. Burn it to the ground. It can't be saved. It's too bad. So this was one of those things that I think did not get enough attention at the time because there was so much happening. And the thing we had to keep boiling it down to when people are like, well, we have to support other people at the channel. At the company. A woman lost her life. A woman lost her life due to the harassment she received because the workplace was that horrifically toxic.
The money that Activision Blizzard gets because you bought some gems to get boots for your orc does not fucking trickle down in an important way to the people who are being mistreated.
Yeah. So today and every day, fuck Activision Blizzard. Do not play Activision Blizzard games. Do not support Activision Blizzard. They have not made the progress that is required. But hopefully, and I do very much hope, at least the family of the victim of this will be getting some sort of something for the horrific trouble this has caused their family that could never make up for it. So they are being sued in a wrongful death case, which is alleging that the sexual harassment led to her suicide.
Of course it did. Mm-hmm. Of course it did.
Yeah.
And it's time for all corporations to start fucking answering for the horrible ways they're treating and mistreating their people. It's just time. It's just fucking time.
So if nothing has gotten you off of Call of Duty yet up to this point, maybe today is that day. Maybe this is the thing you needed. I don't know what did up to this point, but
Activision games suck anyway. Go play another shoot man game if you need a shoot. There are plenty of shoot man games. The video games will never lack for a shoot man game or a game where you're an orc hitting somebody with an axe. Those are two things that we're always going to have in video games. Go find them somewhere else.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the only information on it right now that we have. It does look like we have a raid coming in. Welcome in. Children, behave yourself.
What's up? Welcome. We're excited to see you. We are a morning news show. We're going to tell you every good goddamn thing you need to know.
And also all of the bad things you need to know. Welcome to It's Too Early.
Welcome to It's Too Early. Although we are kind of moving on now to some more fun stuff, I think.
Yeah, let's bring it back up, shall we? I think that would be a very good time to do so.
What if I told you we just got Robert Pattinson? Some are calling him the greatest Batman in history. And I thought the Batman of Gotham was a myth. But it turns out he's real. And he's a vampire, and he's got eyeliner, and people are loving the hell out of him.
Yeah, of course we love a Batman and eyeliner. That's such an easy pitch. Hey, what if Batman wore eyeliner? Yeah.
Yeah. Are you telling me he doesn't?
Of course. Mask people in eyeliner? Fuck me up.
Let's go.
All day, every day.
It made more money on its opening night, that Thursday night preview, than Batman Begins made its entire first weekend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a huge movie. I, of course, am still terrified of the creeping death, so I will be seeing it sometime this week during a matinee at a small theater.
Same.
Do you want to go see the Batman?
Yeah, I would love to go see the Batman.
I heard he was just a myth.
Let's go find out.
I heard the Batman of Gotham was just an urban legend.
Let's go find out together.
To strike fear into the hearts of criminals. But it turns out that he's not the only Batman that we're getting that is kind of a dream Batman.
Mm-hmm.
We just found out, and this is kind of a monkey's paw way to find out, if I'm honest.
Isn't it?
We just found out that Keanu Reeves is going to be the Batman in Super Pets. And this is actually a very funny clip.
You want to pull it up on yours for some audio? Warner hates when we play audio.
Warner hates when we play audio.
Hates when we play
Warner's
audio.
like, ew, you're promoting our film. So gross.
Take a copyright strike.
Oh, did you help us? Are you helping us sell our movie? Why don't you go to jail? Why don't you go to jail?
Start therapy on Monday.
You should start going to prison. Warner Brothers, sort of like the Batman of Gotham themselves, with their vigilante justice that they perpetrate on us.
We could have.
Let's see. Can they hear it?
We just want a little bit of Keanu voice.
Can
That's
they hear
all
it?
we want. Yeah, they can hear it. Okay, that's all you get.
Nope. Wait, this is such a good clip, though. It's such a good clip, though.
We want to play more. What we will do instead is we'll link it in the Discord.
Well, here, let's play it without audio because it's got subtitles.
All right. But I'll also link it in the...
Because it's actually...
Oh, they didn't hear any audio again. I don't know what's going on with our... It keeps saying it's playing you audio and then not playing you audio.
That's so weird. Yeah, that's so weird. I don't know.
Well, it was on but super quiet, and it was literally like in the red for us.
Yeah, that's strange.
Okay, we'll figure that out later.
We'll figure it out later. Anyway, this is a funny bit between Batman and Ace the Bat Hound.
Just play it with subtitles.
Played by Kevin Hart, because why not? Like, that's kind of good.
I'm going to drop it in the... Yeah.
I mean, it's
Stay in your chair, bud. Stay in your chair, bud.
It's kind of funny. Like, that bit is kind of funny.
You know, I'm not sure where we're going with this Super Pets thing, but I'm coming in with low expectations and an open heart. You know?
Yeah. It looks like it's very much like in the realm of parody.
It looks like it's in the realm of parody. It definitely looks like it is made for children in many ways. But what's so strange is making a movie that is very much aimed at kids, but giving us fucking star-studded cast of performers, right? You've got The Rock.
Yeah.
Right? Like as
The Rock is Crypto.
Yeah.
You've got John Krasinski as Superman. You've got Keanu Reeves as Batman, and then of course Kevin Hart as Ace the Bat Hound.
Thanks, Anthony.
Squeezy Bruce.
That's great.
It's kind of funny. It's silly. Like,
I'm intrigued.
yeah.
Keanu Reeves as Batman? No complaints.
No
Who
complaints.
could complain?
Dude, Keanu Reeves, I feel like Keanu Reeves in his life with like Lonely Keanu and all that stuff and like everything that we know that he went through, like the story of Keanu Reeves, he's kind of
a little Bruce Wayne.
He's a little Bruce Wayne, but he's like, if we got a post-therapy Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
I think it would be Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okotoroku in the live studio audience said getting a bunch of random stars to play your animated thing has just been the way for a while now. I know, but I do feel like this is like next level.
It's pretty good casting. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like Keanu Reeves as Batman makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
John Krasinski as Superman, like as the voice of Superman, makes a lot of sense to me.
Sure.
Kevin Hart as Ace the Bat Hound is really given Ace the Bat Hound a personality I did not expect Ace the Bat Hound to have.
It's Kevin Hart's.
It's Kevin Hart's personality.
Yeah, because Kevin Hart is just playing Kevin Hart.
But I'm willing to check it out. But yeah, I mean, look, voice actors have been talking about this for years. Like, I mean, it really is the Robin Williams genie effect that has spread out throughout all of animated films, where it's like you have to have a big star now. What are you doing?
There's no link for this one, but I want to talk about it next while we're talking about some DC stuff.
Oh yeah, let me find that.
Oh great.
So what Saige is referring to is that there was a GCPD, a Gotham City Police Department show that was coming out on the HBO Max, supposed to be set in the world of the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like, as much as I love Gotham Central, the comic book, I'm sort of like not into, I mean,
We're not into cops.
I don't want a cop show.
We're not into cops.
I don't want a cop show.
We
I don't want to show.
a cop show.
I don't want to show glorifying that like the police are the only thing that keeps us from chaos, because it's just, I'm just over it.
And
even
it's a
in
lie.
Gotham, I do love the idea of a show about regular people in Gotham,
Right.
and I do understand the idea of wanting to do that. What it's like to live in a city like Gotham, and
Absolutely.
why you choose to be there and how you choose to make it better.
How your life is impacted by it. And all
Yeah.
the things that are happening around you. I love that. I say it all the time. I talk about like Disney Plus giving us this for a lot of our favorite franchises. Is what it's like to just live in a world where you're not the main storyline.
In a world. That's two.
There we go.
So I like it, but I didn't want a cop show.
Mm-hmm.
And they said it wasn't going to be Gotham Central anyway, which means like I don't even have an emotional attachment to it.
But an important update seems to have been made in the evolution of what that show is to being focused a little more as like an Arkham or Arkham Asylum show, which is very interesting.
Yeah, so Matt Reeves, who's of course going to be the executive producer and showrunner, well, not showrunner, EP, on this show, said that as they were talking about it and trying to make it work, it just sort of turned into an Arkham show, which I love.
I love that. Let's talk less about police and more about doctors and patients. Yes.
But also, like,
Absolutely.
look, is Arkham Asylum a good representation of mental health and the mental health system? No.
Absolutely not.
Batman is problematic on a number of levels, but the whole idea of Arkham Asylum is that it is a place where the spookiest of the spooky go, and it is run by the spookiest of the spooky.
Right. It is. I don't think that there's anything about that show that should be tied to any reality, any mental illness. It's No. This is a show about villains now. And personally, I think the strongest suit of DC is DC villains. I'm a huge DC villains fan. I think they have significantly better villains than Marvel.
Yeah.
I say as like a total Marvel fangirl. I think this is where DC fucking shines. And
the Batman Rogues Gallery is second to none.
It's
second to none.
Good.
This is different than the Penguin series, which is still happening, which is going to be about the crime families of Gotham.
Which is so gritty.
Ooh, so gritty.
Ooh, gritty Penguin.
So gritty, the Penguin. Ooh,
Weird.
Swear to me.
I only want Penguin stories like the animated Harley Quinn bar mitzvah.
Dude, that's all I want. All I want is I love a canonically Jewish Oswald Cobblepot.
God, I mean, we talk about it all the time. The animated Harley Quinn gave us so much Jewish canon in the DC universe.
Dude, the animated Harley Quinn gave us so many things that we wanted. I gotta say, it's always been this way, but DC TV has been better over the last few years than DC movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100 times over.
Harley's canonically Jewish now. What's good?
Even the CW DC stuff, the first couple seasons of all of it, I was just like, look at the Flash and all his good dads. You know,
Yeah.
look at all of rich sad man Arrow's friends trying to make him happy again.
Yeah.
You know,
Arrow,
it was so
absolutely.
good. And then you got the Harley Quinn. You've got, dude, Peacemaker fucking blew my mind.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I know.
There's a Booster Gold coming.
Yeah.
But no Blue Beetle still. That's the problem. People were tweeting at me that Booster Gold is coming, and they're like, how excited are you? I was like, it's got to be both. It's got to be, I want both or neither. I want Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, best of friends.
Blue Beetle.
Anyway.
One sock cutter. He cuts socks.
Two sock cutters. Oh, I fucked up already. We haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
So the Penguin show is still happening. But the GCPD show, which was they're all supposed to cross over into each other, is now going to be this Arkham show. And they said, we've actually moved more into the realm of exactly what would happen in the world of Arkham as it relates coming off of our movie and some of the characters leaning into the idea of a horror movie or a haunted house that is Arkham.
Yes, I love this so much. Make it a horror show about the villains of Arkham. Yes, thank you so much. What a gift. That feels like it was made just for me. Now, I generally have been like, man, I like the sillier like DC Batman shit. If you give me spooky, I'm all in back. I'm all back in on gritty. Too. I'll come right back to gritty with you if you give me spooky. I promise.
Yeah, gritty for the sake of gritty is not the most interesting thing in the world to me.
But God, if you give me spooky gritty, oh my God, you can get so gritty with me if you give me also spooky.
Get a little spooky gritty.
I'll let you get so fucking like emo about it. Ugh.
We're running a little long, but let's do these two quick.
Yeah, I think they're important.
First of all, there's a new Alien movie coming to Hulu.
Which, holy shit.
And it's going to be directed by Fede Alvarez, who is the person who did the filmmaker that did the Evil Dead reboot. It's not going to have any canonical, well, it will have some connection, but it's not going to be like a highly connected to the original stuff. It's going to be, there is a universe, these aliens exist. Now, of course, the last time we saw that was Paul W.S. Anderson's Alien vs. Predator, AVP, and that did not end very well, but I have a little more faith in Fede Alvarez.
Yeah, I can be a little precious about the Alien franchise.
Me too, except they've lowered my expectations so much post-Prometheus.
I know.
That I don't give a shit.
Yeah. But like immediately when I saw this, I got that protective thing, and then I was like, well, what else can they do?
Yeah, look, just do the dang thing. Just do the dang thing.
I hope that it's good.
It's going to lean, obviously, with Fede Alvarez helming it, it's going to lean more into the horror, which could be good.
Yeah.
I could be into that.
I could be very into that. Akotoroku asked, is it because Ripley is the best female action hero of all time? Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. She rules. So that's very exciting.
Honestly, best action hero.
We don't know much about what is going to happen in this. They're not talking much about it, but they said that they picked up the project. They weren't planning on doing an Alien movie, and they picked up the project purely off the strength of Fede's pitch. It's a really good story with a bunch of characters you haven't seen before. He literally got them so excited on a cold pitch about an Alien movie that they were like,
fuck it, I guess we'll pick up Alien.
Fuck it, do it. We're doing another Alien movie.
In our last piece of movie news, we have an I Am Legend sequel being put together with Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan, which when you say those two as like the starring cast, I'm pretty into it. I'm pretty into anything. I didn't see I Am Legend because of Is a Man Alone in an Apocalypse with a Dog. It's not.
And it's going to make you sad in all the ways it's going to make you sad. I was told and I didn't
see it. So I knew it would hurt my feelings. I have not seen it. I know that it's supposed to be very good. It's just, it hurt my feelings. I don't know. It hurt my feelings to think about. I was told of part of it. So they are doing a second I Am Legend. We don't know a ton about it right now. We do know Akiva Goldsman is back to write. So
yeah.
Did y'all like I
don't see, I liked it a lot, but I don't see much purpose in a sequel.
Everything's got to have a sequel.
I mean, that's the thing, right? There's, Not the Lysander said something in the live studio audience that I agree with, which was there was an original ending that was way better, but darker.
Interesting.
And weirder.
Okay.
And I love that original ending, but I just feel like I don't want to give out any spoilers, so I won't.
Everyone is saying that they just think, even the people who liked it are just like, it's all done.
It's done. It's
all done.
It was such a perfectly contained story, and I just don't. The fact that there are even the fact that there are two people starring in it ruins the whole thing about I Am Legend, right?
That's funny.
Right?
Oh, I didn't even...
Here I am, a man alone in the apocalypse, just trying to stay sane and trying to do my best, except for this buddy of mine. And turns out we're friends and we're together now.
It's me.
I am also Legend.
This one's called We Are Legend.
We're Legend together.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be very good. Michael B. Jordan is perfect and phenomenal. So like, I can agree with that. That's pretty cool.
It's fine.
I guess.
More one-off movies. We have to stop making so many sequels. If we keep doing this, there will be no original movies left, and you will have nothing to make a sequel of.
Don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel.
Whamp, whamp.
That's the end of I Am Legend.
That's the end of I Am Legend, everybody.
Y'all, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If it's your first time here, if you came over from the raid, or you just happened upon our show this morning, welcome. We're very glad that you're here. We do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Unless we don't, but we usually do. You can also join us on Discord.
Figure that out.
It's free to get in there. If you have anything that you want to see us talk about, you want to talk about with us, drop it in the Discord. We often cover those on the show. Thank you to everybody who submitted a story for today's show. We appreciate it very much. We want to tell you the things that you want us to tell you, you know? You can also support us on Patreon if you want a bonus clip from the show. You didn't get enough. There's a bonus one there every single week, starting at $5 a month.
Can you believe?
And it's a bunch of extra content. You get all the back stuff and all the other perks for that tier well.
Because we got other shows. And those other shows are giving you stuff. It's
true.
so much stuff.
So much stuff. You can also join me and Anthony every single Friday for Failed Save, our D&D 5e campaign. That's at 7 p.m. Pacific on Friday nights. It is chaos. You can go back and catch up on the backlog here on Twitch or over on our YouTube channel. But hey, following, just showing up for the show, that's all free. And that's the most helpful thing you could probably do.
We are Wedgend, and we are only Wedgend because you come by.
We do run a donation goal. This goes through the entire month. We are a completely independent network. We're just two people in a shed making a show, and that makes it possible for us to do this.
If you're wondering why we do all these things, it's because, number one, it's expensive to be alive. And number two, things like the Patreon and your subscriptions go to the network and improving things all across the network. Your donations go to pay your hosts that you see on screen.
Yep. Let's go through and let's thank everybody who supported. Thank you, Katten for that raid. Much appreciated. Welcome in if you're coming over from that stream.
Thanks, everybody.
Stolen Tag for the 16-month resub. Thank you so much, Stolen Tag. A Suicidal Panda for 6 months said, remember when you used to get DVDs sent to you for like $5 a month via Netflix?
Oh, my Lord. And you could just, and if you wanted to keep one, you could be like, Netflix, I lost it.
Oopsie. You would know if somebody had those little white slips. They were that kind of guy.
Yep.
Son of Orpheus for 18 months. A very good mod, a very good human. Bebop Badger for 2 months said, best 2 months ever. Love y'all so much. And we love you, pals. 54 Aqua Snakes with the 969 tips said, I need a nice number to start off the week. A Gooch with the Fur subscribed for 6 months, said, love waking up to the best and only morning show here on Twitch. There's literally no others.
There's no others. If only there was another news show for you to watch, but there isn't.
It's either Giuseppe or Jesus Pie. I don't know how to read, but thank you for the 7-month resub, so appreciate it, as well as Starry Girl, Star Girl for 8 months, Groovy Deadite for 9 months, Gab Greg with a $50 donation, very kind of you, said for Sugar Breakfast, and thank you for all of the entertainment. I'm so excited for the new show. I'm also very excited for the new show. NZL Ghost with the 4-month resub, Lawrence with the 4-month resub, Tybor with the first-time Prime sub. Thank you for taking some money out of the Beezy's pocket. Cassidy Weaver with the bits, Edoc for 7 months, Penguintopia for 13 months, a Pixel Circus year.
Ooh, I was going to bring the boy over, but he woke up.
There he is.
There he is. Now I can bring him over.
He woke on up, and that is it. We are caught up.
Hey,
we love you all
Saige.
so much. Yes.
When you're not here, where are you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Sage. I stream over on my channel Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. You can also find me on the D&D channel and Smosh Games all the dang time. And very soon for more things here on this channel. Wah, wah, wah. What about you, Anthony?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. Little Elden Ring this afternoon. Getting back into the Elden Ring. Also, I've got a science comedy podcast with Jeff Kanata called We Have Concerns that you can catch every week at wehaveconcerns.com. So do so.
Yeah,
It's good. And this is Dagger, and he does have an Instagram. He's at Dagger on Instagram.
Follow at the Pixel Circus on Twitter as well. We have our last cast member announcement, followed by another announcement about the show tomorrow for Bane's Break. We've been releasing those every single day this week. So very exciting to see what one of those last silhouettes is going to look like over on twitter.com/the Pixel Circus.
Is it Robert Pattinson?
Could be. Only one way to find out. Find out around 1 o'clock today. And that's it, friends. We love you so much. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye, BBs.